Mindset Mechanics 101, Module 2, Mindset. Hey there, it's Carlita Wright. I am your host for this series, and we're back from Module 2. We're going to dive into the mindset portion of the book. So let's go over the mindset outline. We're going to cover the steps to growth, the importance of mindset growth, how to grow your mindset, and becoming a vital leader. Now, this is one of the most important topics in the book, as it is foundational for being a great leader and how you develop and maintain a growth mindset in organizational leadership. Now, in the book, it's located in the business vehicle control system. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And it's basically asking the question, how do you develop and maintain a growth mindset as a leader? Now, there are 5 steps to growth that I took in my journey, and I had to follow some clues. I had to invite unexpected twists. I was standing on the shoulder of giants, taking a leap of faith, and things came together. So we're gonna go over these topics. If you're wondering why things happen where they've happened to you, well, I really believe at the core that nothing happens by chance. That everything happens for a reason, whether good or bad. And these events are leaving clues to who you are, what you should focus on, and what you're going to become in the future. So your life is going to leave these clues, and they're going to help you discover your passion, your purpose. And sometimes your passion, your purpose reveal themselves in joy and crisis and frustrations, pains, or things you love. But it's your job. I think it's your life's goal to look for the patterns, to look for the signs and the principles and the symbols that present themselves to you and lend themselves to you to help you develop and discover your purpose and passion. Now, one thing I've noticed even in my life is that the universe repeats itself. And I know from just basic living that repetition is a master of building skills. So the universe has become a master at certain things. It's become a master at what it does. But what happens is we fail to pay attention. And our society is built in a way that we don't pay attention to these clues. We don't slow down to look at the small details. And when it comes to building a growth mindset, which is most important, it's critical that we always look at the clues that are being left behind in the creases and the seams of our life, because that's where we're going to find what we least expected. Next thing I had to look at was to invite the unexpected twist that happens in my life. Life is so short, and we're in a hurry to get where we're trying to get to. But as we begin to follow our dreams, it's important to realize that there are no shortcuts in life. And we think we're going to get there faster by taking different routes when we should actually go through the thing that we fear, the thing we're trying to avoid, the thing we're trying to prevent from taking place. That's where the true paths in life are. And if we invite those unexpected twists in our lives, no matter how painful, how exhilarating, how promising or unpromising they may seem, then we will prevent ourselves from wasting time and having to redo the whole thing over again. So I invite you to look at your situations in your life and to let those unexpected events come in, and because life is too short and you have to go through them in order to get to the other side. And that's where you're going to discover your true business passion, purpose, and who you really are, because you're going to need these elements, this fabric of your life to build your business. So you have to invite them in. We're going to use them as raw material to construct and frame the person you're going to be, the team you're going to build, the organization, the culture, the values. All of that matters. And you have to be able to invite the good and the bad and not look at it as being a barrier, but actually look at it as being a bridge to where you're trying to go. Now, I also had to stand on the shoulders of giants. I had to learn from the greatest of the greatest people who have lived on earth. They have left clues, they have invited twists, they've shared those twists with us, and now we stand on their shoulders. So you have to find people in your life that pour into you and to your success. Now, if you don't have any people, buy the books of some of the greatest businessmen and women, the greatest performers and life coaches, and let them mentor you towards your success. Like, don't just read their books, but study their books, break it down, talk to their books, really begin to analyze what they're saying, and it's in these books, these articles, these movies, these forms of art, these histories that have been left behind for us to help us pursue our individual goals and passions. And they have cracked the code. It's up to us to decipher the code, to read it, to understand it, because it's been left for us as lessons, um, of their lives to help us reveal our lives. Because at the end of the day, we're standing on their shoulders. And it's such a wonderful time to be living in because we have so many amazing men and women that we can lean on. You got Dan Priestley, Jim Rohn, Napoleon Hill, Tony Robbins, Danny Johnson, who's helped me in my life. And the list can go on and on. So I encourage you to read their books, to talk to them, to get in their presence, to buy their courses, to study them, and to extract value from them to help you enrich your life. And then you're going to have to take a leap of faith. You're going to have to take a leap of faith and actually do the things that will cause you to be more expansive. You're going to have to launch into the deep and do things that make you afraid. That's a calculated risk, not risky, but a calculated, well planned risk. Because if you're going to have anything, you have to go out there. Like, we didn't come to this earth, this physical plane, just to exist. We're here to realize our dreams. And any fear that you may have is a figment of your imagination. There's nothing to be afraid of here. The only fear is fear itself. And we have to break that down and take the leap of faith and go after our dreams and our passions and the thing we really want, because that's the essence of what keeps us driven, keeps us moving, keep us passionate, keep us vitalized in what we're doing. And it's that light that ignites inside of each one of us that calls the light in others to light. And they see the light in us and they are drawn to us. So it's very important that you take the leap of faith, because there are so many people who are waiting to see your light. And they can't see your light if you don't take the leap of faith and you don't go out in the deep and do what you know is in your heart. Because it's when you allow love to drive you that love wins. Love is things that you bring into your life, the activities you do, the things that make you a better person. When you exude love, you attract more of it, and you begin to have a business and a career and a life that you actually love, because at the core of who you are is love. So all you can do is attract it. So, but it starts with taking that leap of faith and launching out into the deep, to the deep territories where you are told to stay away from. It's not safe. Don't do that. But I promise you, that's where the good stuff is. That's where you begin to extract and secrete value that's going to enrich your lives. And once you get out there, it's not as scary or as lonely as you think that it really is. It's actually so much life and worth living in the deep. So I have learned this myself, and I promise you, I've come too far now to go back. And once you go into the deep, you realize you can't go back to the safety zone anymore. You have to continue to become who you desire to be. That way, your business can grow in the way you want to grow. Your team can grow in the way that you want to grow. Your organization can grow in the way that you see it can be and grow. The way you can change and affect change in the environment, in society. But it starts with somebody taking that first leap of faith. And finally, things come together. So, if no matter where you are in your life, in your business, organization, your team, you cannot be afraid to pivot. You can't be afraid to change and make a change. And what you realize is that if you feel that you're on the wrong path in life or you're not fulfilled, and that everything you've done so far and everything you've lived through up until this point of being aware, it's going to be used as raw material. I mentioned it before. It's going to be used as raw material to help you build the next chapter of your life. You're going to look back a year from now and be like, wow, why did I make that change sooner? Why didn't I pivot sooner? Why didn't I capture the moment sooner? And you'll be able to create a future that's filled with opportunities, with increased capabilities and more vigor, right? So just know that everything begins to make sense when you begin to piece it together and really align the ebbs and the flow, align the ups and downs. You see that it was always going to lead you here. You were always going to end up in this place. And once you realize that, your vision ignites, it opens up for you. You can see where you're going, you see where you're headed, and you head there with conviction. And you realize that you cannot get there alone. That's the most important thing. You cannot get there alone. So even though you have a clear vision, you're only a piece of the puzzle. And you have to make opportunities for others to join in and have their vision fulfilled as well. But it starts with knowing that there's a change, having that awareness, there's a change, pivoting, and then seizing the moments that show themselves to you and catching that wave and riding it out to your destination. Growth starts here. It starts with you keeping that in mind. And as you see this picture here, it's an iceberg. And what's above the water is what everyone sees. It's a beautiful piece of ice. It's magnificent. It's contrasting with the environment, but they don't see everything that's underneath the water. That's all of the experiences, the knowledge, the value, the love, the excitement, the work you've done is all under the water, and they cannot see that. So building a growth mindset requires you to take an inventory of where you started and where you are, to envision where you want to be, and to take the necessary steps to achieve those outcomes. Now, leaders, I believe, are readers, and they are in a long term pursuit of improving themselves, of gaining new knowledge, and find new ways to be more creative and inventive and to revive old concepts. Now, you have to recognize that growth starts here. It starts with you. It starts with your energy, your vitality, your focus. And if you can get those things in alignment with everything you have done, everything you have become so far, everything you want to be, then you're able to grow in a way that's sustainable, strategic, and monumental in building a legacy that precedes you. So, to do that, you really have to recognize that you are the sun in your solar system. You are the sun of your solar system. There's a law called universal law of gravity that is working for you or against you. And you have to understand this law. And then you have to become that vital leader. Not a functional one, but a vital one. So I mentioned you are the sun solar system, and that's the truth. You have to do the work, build yourself up, because there are other people who are depending on you, and they are equally as important as you are. But you're going to provide them with the energy, with the light, direction, purpose for their life until they can create their own. And some of them, they love being supportive satellites and supportive elements and planets within your system. But you have to make room for them. You have to create protections for them. You have to create a system that continues to breed more life, the way the light can shine on everyone, everyone can prosper. You have to understand that there are gravitational forces working around you that are attracting people to you, keeping you grounded, and also repelling others. Not that the people are bad people, it's just that they don't fit in this vision. They're culturally unaligned with what you're trying to do with this business, this team, this organization. And you have to use that force to your advantage because it's that force that's going to help you work smarter and not harder. Instead of having to search for people, become the person that they are looking for and they will come. That you will attract them to you. And that's the goal of using science to work for you versus you working so hard on your own. You must become a vital leader. If you're going to grow into what others need you to be, if you're going to become who you want to be, you have to become vital. You have to be a person who desires the thing, has the thing, and does the thing that makes you a person of value. And then you're able to provide others with what they need because your cup is running over. It's running over to the point where you have so much to give that you can give more away. And as you're giving more away, their cups get filled. And they get filled where they can give away as well. It's a domino effect. So you want to become a vital leader that provides your capabilities to help others. Your vitality is important because you cannot lead your organization or be everything that you must be to your clients and teams if you're not energized, motivated for the task. You have to have vitality. You have to have rest. You have to be energized from a source beyond yourself. And as a vital leader, your team must need you. You could not be a replaceable member of your team. This is about functionality versus vitality. When you're missing, they should know, oh, she's missing, but not in a way where they can't function. They do their job. You've taught them well, but you have to be able to lead to get energized, to renew your energy so you could be at that the sun in their solar system, right? So you have to not be replaceable, but you got to be able to leave and they miss you. So it's important that you train others, you build succession and your plan, you're building up the next leader, you're making your team be dependable and functional, but even though they can do it, they still need you, right? They still need you. And now you're operating at a higher level, they're operating at a higher level, and the whole system begins to grow, the whole team begins to grow. So let's recap. We talked about the steps of growth, which is your mindset, the importance of your mindset in determining how you see the world. We talked about and discussed how to grow your mindset to follow the clues, invite unexpected twists. You're standing on the shoulders of giants. Take the leap of faith and just know that all things are going to work and come together. And then when becoming a leader, it's important you become a vital leader. You must have energy and you must be able to attract things to you in order to prevent yourself from working too hard. Because you are, in essence, the sun in your solar system. So that is module 2 of mindset. We're going to really begin to go deeper now into some of the concepts of the book But that was a really good overview and foundational understanding of the section of the book about mindset.